In the crowded district of Tondo, Manila, where the air is filled with noise, jeepneys, and the smell of street food cooking on rusty grills, there lived a young man named Marco. Every morning before the sun climbed across the sky, he walked barefoot to the Cemon Cow Well, a muddy little corner of land at the edge of the neighborhood. The community's only milk-producing cow lived there, and it was Marco's responsibility to feed her, clean her, and collect what little milk she produced each day. He did not have a stable job or fancy dreams like some people, but he carried something far more valuable, wit as sharp as a blade and rationality that kept him alive. Life tested Marco constantly. Some days there wasn't enough food for his family, and other days his slippers were so broken he had to tie them together with twine. Often, the cow refused to cooperate, she would kick over the pail of milk or refuse to move an inch. But Marco didn't complain. Instead, he used humor to soften the frustration around him. Whenever neighbors stressed about bills or hunger, Marco cracked jokes, flipping hardships into lessons. He believed that the world could break a man's wallet but should never break his spirit. He also had a clever way of solving problems. If the cow kicked the bucket, he would secure it with rope next time. If the path to the well got flooded, he would build stones into stepping platforms and help others cross. He never waited for help from the government or charities. Self-reliance and practical thinking became his lifestyle. Marco always said, "Poverty is not stupidity. The poor think faster because we have no room for mistakes." People who passed him daily began to notice how his smile never faded, even when life slapped him hard. They realized his wit wasn't just for entertainment, it was a survival tool. His rationality wasn't learned from school but from living in a world where every small decision mattered. He became a quiet inspiration in Tondo, a reminder that the poor are not weak or foolish. They are fighters who laugh in the face of struggle. Marco's dream was simple but powerful. One day, he wanted to own a small milk shop so the children in his barangay would never go hungry. He planned every step carefully, saving a few pesos each week from selling milk, repairing the well so water would flow better, and preparing to buy one more cow. People might have doubted him, but he believed success isn't measured by money, it is measured by how smartly and bravely a person fights to rise. And Marco was a warrior of intelligence, humor, and unbreakable hope. Far from Manila, in the heart of Cebu City, lived a determined girl named Anna. Every sunrise, before she could even feel fully awake, she rushed toward the Cemon Cow Well to fetch water for her family. She carried rusty buckets that weighed almost as much as she did, and the muddy path made her slip often. Yet, her eyes always shined with confidence. Her clothes may have been old and torn, but her mind was richer than gold. Anna was known in her school as the girl who could solve any problem, academic or personal. She answered math questions before the teacher finished asking them. When her classmates felt sad because of family struggles, she told jokes that made them smile again. The community doubted her because she was poor, but Anna believed that intelligence did not belong to the wealthy. "Brains are free," she would say, and thank God for that. Every day, she helped her mother with chores, took care of her younger siblings, and still managed to study using a broken notebook and a pencil worn almost down to nothing. When the cow at the well kicked and splashed water everywhere, Anna didn't panic. She analyzed the situation, waited until the animal calmed down, and then gently approached again. Her calm logic turned chaos into order. People mocked her dusty appearance, calling her "poor girl from the well," but Anna refused to let their words weaken her. She stood tall, proving that rationality creates strength. When the well dried up one season, everyone panicked, but Anna came up with a plan. She coordinated the community to store rainwater, repair the pipes, and share resources equally. Her leadership shocked everyone, especially those who once laughed at her. Anna dreamed of becoming an engineer one day, a builder of bridges, not just physically, but also socially. She wanted to build a future where no child missed school because they had to fetch water. Her ambitions did not frighten her. Instead, they motivated her to keep studying, to keep thinking, to keep believing that poverty is not a chain, it is a challenge that can be broken with intelligence. Through every struggle, she carried the truth that Filipino wit isn't only humor, it is the ability to turn hopelessness into opportunity. And in every smart idea she created, Ana represented the spirit of the Philippines, resilient, rational, and ready to rise. In the vibrant landscape of Davao City, a group of young kids lived in a small slum community behind a row of old markets. They did not have toys, fancy gadgets, or school supplies. But they had imagination, and that was enough to change their lives. Every afternoon, they gathered near the Cemon Cow Well, where they experimented with junk materials, broken wheels, plastic bottles, bent metal rods, and old ropes people had thrown away. The well, while essential for daily water, was deep and difficult to use. Lifting full buckets gave the children backaches, and sometimes the bucket even fell inside the well. Instead of crying about the struggle, they started thinking. They wanted to make life easier for everyone in the community. So they worked together, using Filipino creativity and teamwork, and designed a homemade pulley system. It wasn't fancy or shiny, but it worked. They laughed proudly the first time the bucket rose smoothly with almost no effort. Their invention amazed the adults. People who once believed these children were useless suddenly saw them as inventors. The kids didn't stop there, they created a simple filtering system using charcoal, rocks, and sand from the river. They studied how water moved, how dirt settled, and how materials worked together. They had no textbooks or computers, but their rational minds became their teachers. Instead of discouraging each other, they shared ideas, debated, tested, and improved. Through their teamwork, they discovered that knowledge grows when minds unite. Neighbors who saw their determination started donating scraps that could help them build more useful tools. The kids became an example that poverty is not the end, it is the beginning of innovation. One day, a visitor from a small community group saw the children's inventions and asked them to demonstrate how the pulley and filter worked. The kids explained confidently, as if they were trained engineers. The visitor applauded their intelligence and promised to help support their education. For the first time in their lives, the children felt seen, not as poor kids, but as brilliant young Filipinos. Their biggest dream was to one day become scientists and engineers so they could improve not just their neighborhood, but the entire city of Davao. And every invention they built beside the Cemon Cow Well became a symbol of the Filipino spirit, resourceful, creative, logical, and unstoppable. These kids proved that intelligence grows strongest in struggle. Their poverty did not erase their worth. Their rationality did not need fancy schools. Their wit turned garbage into hope. Through them, the world could witness the powerful truth.